matter, and they really fucking matter. There's like 4 things that matter, and they really fucking matter. I mean, objectively, I mean, you should care, especially you, if you thought about it for 5 fucking minutes.
Welcome to episode 50 of the Out of Voices podcast.
Episode 50? I didn't realize it was episode 50.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We had this whole discussion before we started this.
No, we talked about how we had a lot of episodes.
It was episode 50. We talked about episode 50 last episode.
Do you know all the things that have happened to me in between now and then?
A week. It's been a week.
It's been a long ass week.
So again, welcome everybody to episode 50 of the Out of Voices podcast. As always, it is Keem and Esme.
Yay!
I'm glad she's able to remember her name. Apparently.
Sometimes I remember.
Where are we today, Esme? Why is episode 50 special?
Because we are both in Memphis.
Yeah.
And we're in a storage unit.
Because I'm on spring break. Don't go watch that movie. That's a terrible movie.
I didn't realize that was a movie.
Yeah, starring James Franco.
Oh God.
And Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's awful. Don't go watch Spring Break.
Okay. I won't.
It actually has which is going to be relevant later when you people are going to hear this. There's a point where someone performs fellatio on a gun.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's weird. James
Okay.
Franco, yeah.
Noted. Don't go watch that movie.
Okay, besides me being down here in Memphis instead of in New York, why is today's show special?
Because we're in a storage unit recording live with Jareef Green, who is we featured his music a couple weeks ago. So you've heard his music, but here he is joining us for the entire episode. Yay! Good. So we are here in his studio, which is in a storage unit.
We have
at an
mics.
Undisclosed location.
We have mics,
We have
guys.
proper mics.
We sound less like garbage. I mean, I sound like garbage just because of my voice, but
Nah, mine's not much better today. Excuse me while I cough. Sorry.
for all you listeners, she moved away from the mic to cough. If that's your
Thanks
if
for
that's
sharing.
your kink,
What are you even
please let us know.
about?
I'm gonna be a little. It's episode 50. I'm gonna be a little silly this episode.
This episode.
Yeah, this one.
This
in
just
particular.
this one? Just this one.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
I'm normally
You're gonna
very
be
serious.
extremely serious for all the rest of the episodes. From here on out, guys. The first 50 were awesome, but this is a change. It's been a sea change.
One of us may have smoked weed last night,
It wasn't me.
and he's more relaxed. So
So extra silly.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
And we do not condone the use of illegal illicit drugs on this podcast.
Nope.
We do not condone it.
Nope.
Thank you.
Nope. Don't do that.
We know you're watching Jeff Sessions. Beauregard. I know it. Sorry.
Drugs are bad, kids.
So, welcome to the show. I guess since we're doing the artist interview later, I guess we shouldn't just move it, like we shouldn't just ask things right off the bat. So we want to go into our news.
News.
Do you want to go first with the news, or should I go with the news? Or
All of these are just going to make me mad. All of these are going to make me mad. I can go first. So my news segment this week is that there have been this week several pieces of legislation that have passed the Tennessee State House. Several that have been extremely frustrating. The one that I want to talk about though is HB 2822. I think. Let me look that up. It is. Yes, 820.
someone's not as prepared. They don't have their things loaded up, ready to talk about.
It is pulled up. It is. No, I don't want to.
She's still tapping.
Ugh. Anyway, so I'll get the number on that in a second when my phone decides to cooperate. It is 20. I don't remember.
It's 20 something.
It's 20 something. Anyway, which has made it officially this bill, if it passes the Senate and is signed by the governor, which thankfully seems unlikely, right? If it passes and becomes law, it would allow for one teacher for every 75 students in a school to be carrying a firearm at school. which it's horrifying. Like, I don't understand, especially considering the news that came out of Georgia this week, where there's a teacher in custody now for discharging his legally carried weapon at the school.
Wasn't that literally yesterday,
No, it was
Thursday or
It was
something?
like 3 days ago. Maybe it was Thursday. I don't remember. But yeah, so it up until this point, as of 2016, it has been legal in Tennessee for individual school districts to make their own policies with regards to people coming onto campus carrying carrying weapons, which is has up to this point been regards to security officers. Like, they've been able to determine whether or not trained professional security officers should be able to bring weapons or to be able to carry weapons. Currently, Shelby County Schools does not allow that. And with regards to having weapons on campus, but it has not been legal to have people actively carrying weapons as a part of the regular school day. But this would allow for, like I said, up to like one teacher for every 75 students to be carrying a concealed weapon as part of the school's security plan, which
That's
I have said several times in the last week that if that becomes law, and again, this would leave it open for individual schools and school districts to determine on their own whether that's an appropriate thing for that school district, which, given the current climate in Shelby County, even if it becomes a thing, even if it becomes a state law, Shelby County schools probably will not adopt this policy anytime soon.
There are a lot of black children in Shelby County schools, and they know better because they know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It seems unlikely that will happen, but I have said multiple times throughout the last week, ever since this whole thing with Trump saying that teachers should just be armed, that if it ever becomes legal, like part of the expectation that there are teachers armed at the school that I teach at, that is time for me to leave.
It's always interesting, this argument that we need to arm the teachers, that the argument doesn't come with we should train the teachers on how to use the weapons.
Oh, no, this one does.
Oh, that one does?
Yeah, this one does. There's provisions in the text of this bill to provide for 40 hours of training before they can be certified to carry this weapon in a school.
So about a work week.
Yes, worth of training. And they have to. There's requirements for them to maintain, like the maximum amount of state licensure for these weapons. And there's provisions that any individual's license to carry weapons in the school can be revoked at any time with or without cause. There's provisions that any teacher who chooses not to carry a weapon, even if they're approached about it, that they have job protections. They cannot be subject to any penalties or like different treatment based on their decision to carry or not to carry a weapon at school.
We're gonna get teachers pistol whipping kids. That's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sit your asses down. Gun pointed.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. What always gets me, and so there are now 2 African Americans on the podcast yet again.
Yes.
We talk about police.
Yes.
And like I've said before, one of the real reasons like police, besides, systematic racism, is that police officers are scared. They have a scary job, and they freak out and they shoot people.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, these are men who are trained in an academy for weeks, months, all the training in the world. They get scared. They shoot innocent people.
Yeah.
Your idea is to have teachers get a work week of training and put them with children. You don't trust cops to do this. We don't trust cops to do this. And they're professionals. This is their entire job. And you're like, let's take this and give it to the teachers.
Yes.
Like, all it's going to take is one kid who's had a bad day to get loud with his teacher. Not even like threaten to harm teacher, just get loud.
Yeah.
And one person is going to freak out and they're going to shoot a child.
Yep.
That's it. That's how it's going to happen. And it's going to happen pretty quickly. Like, okay. So interesting tidbit from growing up. Back home, there was like no like security for anything.
Yeah.
And once high school hit, man, all the kids were packing. Like hunting season,
Yeah.
all the white boys were packing.
Yep.
Like rifles just sitting in the car because most of them like went hunting before school.
Yeah.
They'd come to school with blood on their overalls and go into class because this is the country. This is what we do.
No, like I was the same way. When I was a junior in high school, we had the contraband dogs come in
Right.
one day during hunting season, and they hit on some kid's car, and it turns out he had an unloaded rifle in the backseat of his car, and his ammunition was in the lockbox in the bed of his truck. And that was on a Friday. He got sent home for the rest of that day, and he was back in school on Monday.
It's just always interesting. It was always interesting to me how you had all these school shootings and stuff, all these other places, but there was a measure of, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like it was just different there.
Yeah.
And it's just like those guns were just tools, like, and they were for hunting. That was it. Like you had the idea that like you had the notion that that's what they're used for. You didn't use anything else. You didn't point that at a person at all.
Yeah.
And like, of course, the teachers weren't armed, and they didn't worry about.
Yeah.
Like no one worried about anything. We didn't, because you had the idea that, like I said, the guns were for hunting. Like that's what it is. I don't get and this is going to go back into the next story I have. I don't get the obsession. It seems like the obsession of, we need guns to kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like protection,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
We need guns to protect ourselves from them.
Right, us.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Who them is?
Yeah. No. Sometimes it's the government.
They say
government.
it's the government.
Yeah.
But when the people
Yeah.
colonizers, you've seen Black Panther, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Yeah. Who has not at this point?
when the colonizers say we have to have guns to protect ourselves, oh, we know who they mean.
Yeah.
But so it's always interesting, and that's the environment that produces like mass shooting and like it was just a different kind of respect, like different kind of respect and use for that weapon. Like they didn't we didn't think of it for like, oh, we gotta protect our land.
Yeah. I do kind of want to bring up this whole arming the teachers rhetoric, as
that face you made was
yeah, no, you get to see all my facial expression. He doesn't usually get to see my facial expressions because we're usually recording via Skype. But I've seen the argument, and I think that it's really valid, that one of the reasons that this is being so heavily promoted in so many different places is that it's a distraction from what's actually happening in the wake of the Parkland shooting, which is that all of those kids are being fucking badass right now. Mm-hmm. Like owning all of this everything. They have launched like a massive social media campaign to where like every student who goes to that high school is just like brutally like taking down every argument that's put forth about
they've been going toe to toe with professional politicians at a state and national level, like high school kids. This is what happens when people survive a horrible, tragic incident and go, you know what? I don't want this to happen to me or anyone else ever again.
Yeah. It's neat to see the way that this is playing out. I mean, this is a horrible event, right? Like, this is not a cool thing, but like to see how this generation of students is has realized the power of of social media, right? And the power that they do actually have agency and power themselves. They don't have to wait for somebody else to do it.
They're not letting themselves be victims.
Exactly.
Like they're taking power to make sure that these incidents don't repeat themselves. And like I said, of course, the media wants that quiet because, man, when kids get pissed,
You don't want the world to know that 18-year-olds can do things.
right? I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason during the Martin Luther King marches back in the '60s. Do you know who was out front? Teenagers, college students. There's a reason they were out front.
Yep.
Because, man, people really start to notice something when the kids start making noise.
Yep.
From the mouths of babes, you know? So, yeah, that's they and also arm the teachers is a solution where they don't have to go toe-to-toe with the societal problems and the constitutional issues.
Yes.
Because the court does not want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
And politicians don't want to debate the Second Amendment. Like, that's just something they don't want to deal with.
Oh, God. Speaking of the Second Amendment, another one of these bills that passed in the Tennessee House was the Second Amendment Civil Rights Act.
Those words don't go together. Nope, they don't.
I think that's what it was called.
Tennessee, they do not go together.
But so what this is, and I only read the summary of what this one is, but the main idea of it appears to be that it would prevent any state-owned properties from prohibiting the carry of guns onto the property.
Cannot do that. Violates Congress's Commerce Clause. Can't do that. Boom. Unconstitutional. Can't do it. Get it out of there, Tennessee. Also, Tennessee, civil rights applies to persons and citizens. Guns are not persons and citizens. Second Amendment, you can't go Second Amendment civil rights bill. That's not how that works.
I know, right?
Like, also think about the Second Amendment. No one knows what the fuck it means.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows what it means. Like, they have the right to bear arms. What does that mean? Because I'm pretty sure they meant right. It's actually the right to bear arms and form a militia. They literally meant that to be, and this is a history lesson for the kids out there. They put that in because the U.S. was just becoming a country, like not even a country yet, becoming a country, and they thought Great Britain was going to show up again and be like, "Hey, we're taking you guys back," and they wanted the people to be able to, at a moment's notice, have their weapons, form a militia, fight off invaders. That's it. It wasn't like, we wanted you to have your guns to protect yourself from this. No, they wanted it because they thought they were about to get invaded again.
Yeah. Also, doesn't somewhere in there say well-regulated militia?
Yeah.
As of right now, anything that we have resembling a militia is effectively unregulated.
Right.
Far from being well-regulated. So that's a problem.
Also, the founding fathers, they had muskets. Do you know how long it takes to load a musket? That is 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for this to get even better? Mm-mm. You remember how I said 40 hours of training?
It's 20.
16.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Annually. 16 hours of training annually. Sorry. That was an interruption.
That doesn't make, never mind.
I know. Makes no sense.
But
sorry.
I'm saying, like, anyway, like, it takes 10 minutes to load a musket. I'm exaggerating, but it takes like 3 minutes for real. Like, they weren't talking about like an AR-15 that can kill 100 people in under 5 minutes. Also, probably a slight exaggeration, but like, you get what I'm saying. Like, they weren't like, hey, you need to have your automatic weapons at home for defense. The fuck you defending against?
Redcoats.
Damn redcoats. The Queen shows up with an army. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yep.
I'm joining the Queen.
I'm sure.
She owns corgis and swans.
You can own corgis and swans without... Anyway.
Yeah, but they're not royal
never
and distinguished. And Meghan Markle's about to be a princess. She's black.
I know.
Yep, see? Idris Elba's British. That's why I'm on their side. If Idris Elba...
So is
If Idris Elba showed up with an army, every black person in this country is gonna fight on Idris Elba's side. It's true. If Idris Elba shows up with an invading army, he's like, "Come with me,
I
black
feel
people."
bad. What's his name? The guy who's in Get Out.
Get out, dude.
Yeah, his name.
Chris.
Him. He's also British.
Yeah, I know. We saw him in that show, Black Mirror. Good show. Good show.
Oh, makes you very uncomfortable though.
Yeah.
Everything
Like
is uncomfortable.
if all
in
the
that show.
like I said, if all the British black people show up, it's with an army. It's basically gonna be Black Panther. Black people are just gonna be like, we've been waiting for y'all to come. Let's go. It's true.
I didn't know she was black. I didn't know the princess now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think it's funny because like, is it Harry or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prince Harry. There was this whole thing a few years ago where he went as this like,
She's black and American.
yeah, that's how they're getting.
Yeah.
That's how they're getting it back. She's gonna run for president and win. So the princess will also be the president, and they're gonna take America back. And that's why we need guns. Man, I figured that shit out. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. The British are coming back. Round 3.
Man.
No.
So, since we're already on the subject of guns and people being ridiculous, I'll go into my news story.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
This comes out of this is the dumbest shit I've heard all week. And
This is the dumbest shit he's heard all week, and it's been a banner week.
so this is from the World Peace and Unification Sanctuary in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania. And we were discussing this beforehand.
God, it sounds so much like
Anytime there's any organization that has to say, like, we're peaceful and stuff over and over again in the title, don't trust them.
Yeah.
It's like anybody, I use the same logic. Anybody who says Jesus too much in a paragraph can't be trusted. Because they're using Jesus to hide something. And speaking of using Jesus, they held a ceremony recently, this week, where their parishioners, I'm gonna say their parishioners,
They're cult members. I shouldn't you throw that around lightly, but by God, does that church sound so much like a cult?
Sorry,
It sounds so much like a cult, you guys.
but their parishioners held a ceremony where they dressed up as brides and grooms and renewed their vows, holding their rifles.
So renewed their vows to whom exactly?
See, it's
What kind of vows? They said renewed their vows, but it didn't. They weren't.
to God.
Okay, gotcha. See, that was where I was confused. Because when you say renewed your vows, that sounds like a really
And
nice way to celebrate your wedding anniversary.
They are celebrating their wedding anniversary
God,
to God. They are married.
I don't understand religion.
Jesus-
You guys. I don't understand.
The Bible says Jesus is the bride of the church.
That's right. That's right.
So technically they are.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
They also wore crowns made of bullets.
Because they're crazy people.
Took communion and such with their bullet crowns and rifles.
Oh my God.
And and they also describe themselves as a peace militia. These are words that contradict one another.
Yeah, they don't go together. Peace, militia.
But so their idea comes from Revelations, and it is interesting. They said in Revelations it talks about when Jesus returns to bring peace to the world, new heaven, new earth. He will come bearing a rod of iron and a sword of steel. They interpret that as Jesus will come back loaded. He will be locked and loaded with his rifle and his automatic weapon, and he is going to lay waste to the nations of men. Jesus is going to come in like Rambo.
Guns a-blazing.
Little known fact, Jesus actually defeated the Romans with rifles.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, that seems right.
That's why there's no Roman Empire.
Yep, that seems right.
Look, if they're gonna make shit up, I'm gonna make shit up too.
Fair. That sounds fair.
But
Like I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
But they're literally, like, just to be real, these people are literally worshiping their weapons.
Yes.
They are worshiping guns. And there's also, like, there's a big reason they did this now as we're having this huge gun debate yet again that we have every damn month at this point.
Basically.
But so I talk a lot about how, you know, Trump is the savior for Christian conservatives. Like he is, though. He comes in and he's rich and he's spouting bullshit, and he's you know made Jerusalem the capital of Israel because he can do that.
Yeah, right. Like that's just a thing.
He kind of can.
Because the United States says so.
Yeah, the
President of the United States said a thing, and
Yep.
that makes it a global reality.
The president of the United States had sole power to declare a country legitimate in the eyes of the United States. Constitutional
Let's not even
power.
get started on that.
Yep. But so you know they got him. They hold him up as like he's bringing Jesus back to the White House because Obama wasn't a Christian at all, even though he consistently went to church.
Yeah, and Trump is such a great Christian, what with his philandering and like.
How many times can you commit adultery? Because the way I learned it growing up, you got once, you out. He just keeps going.
I don't.
But yeah, like they like lift this guy up as the second coming of. Oh my God, he's cheesy Christ, cheesy Cheeto Christ.
See, I get frustrated doing this podcast with you because normally I just respond to that shit with a facial expression, but that doesn't come across on the podcast. I have to actually acknowledge that you said the thing.
Grilled cheeses.
Y'all. Your host, Rakeem Johnson.
Anyway, these people, let's get back serious for a moment. These people have hoisted this man up. It's like he's the one. He's bringing Christianity back to America. He's making America great again, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And then with this his current rhetoric on guns and stuff and all that stuff, this is the natural progression. You know, let's just incorporate the gun rhetoric into our worship. It's going to be real messed up / hilarious. Somebody's going to kneel down and blow their head off. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, some idiot.
No. Don't you remember? They checked carefully. Every gun that was brought in was checked carefully to make sure that it was not loaded.
Wait, hold on. So, there was some kind of control for their guns before the ceremony. Some sort of gun control.
Gun control, unconstitutional. Don't take away my guns.
No, this church, their tax exempt, they're fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Also, I don't want to go into
Jesus wanted to.
I don't want
Jesus. This is Jesus gun control. Jesus gun control is okay.
First of all,
government gun control is not okay.
If you guys go and look up this ceremony, it is like 200 white people with guns. Like, there we go. There it is.
Yep.
It's like 200 white people with guns. It looks like a Klan rally. That's like it's a Klan rally without the hoods. It's a bunch of white people with guns. Like, there's one old black dude. I saw one old black guy in the picture, and I don't think he's there on his own free will. He might be someone's slave. They bought him a few years ago, and they just brought him along.
Get out situation. He just looks black. His brain is white.
Get out.
His brain is white.
No crease. No crease. Anyway, go. If you haven't seen Get Out, go watch it before the Oscars, like Sunday.
Oh shit! Is that coming up?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Go watch Get Out.
Just go watch Get Out.
But
it doesn't even matter about the Oscars. Just go watch it.
But anyway, it's a whole bunch of white people, like 2 Asians and 1 black guy. It's horrifying. It's scary. If I saw that many white people packing in one place, I would run, and they'd likely shoot me in the back.
Yep,
Yeah.
probably. And these are not just like little guns either, right? Like they have like
There were kids there.
Yeah.
There were kids with like crowns of. Okay, Jesus had a crown of thorns, not bullets. I don't know how you make the correlation there, but they had kids.
no,
like,
but new Jesus with his rod of iron will have a crown of bullets.
are they saying Jesus is gonna get shot? Because look, the people wear crosses because that's what Jesus like died on, right? Yeah. And do the crown of thorns because you representing Jesus and stuff. But now the new Jesus got guns and bullet crowns. Is it saying Jesus is gonna get shot this next time around? Come back loaded? Because I seen the Left Behind movies, and a dude does get shot in the head, and he was the Antichrist.
Can't believe you watched those.
I did not have a choice. I went to a Presbyterian private
that's
school.
Right. That's right. You're one of those crazy You were
I was
raised as one of those very.
I was not raised. That was the only school in the area. My mom didn't buy that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had to go there because I needed an education.
Okay.
But yeah, don't watch Left Behind movies starring Kirk Cameron
Don't do that.
or Nicolas Cage. Actually, go watch the Nicolas Cage version. It's kind of funny.
That's right. I forgot there were 2 versions.
Yeah,
Damn.
they remade it.
They remade it.
It was shitty the first time around.
They took a series of books that has now spawned.
Mr.
Wait,
T.
how
Mr. T
many-
was in one.
What?
Yeah, Mr. T was in
What?
one.
Aw.
Pity the fool that don't worship Jesus.
Oh no. Oh no.
Like, stop.
Oh God.
Like I said, and people don't get it wrong. We're not making fun of like Christianity or anything. It's not that. It's certain people
kinda
who are
are.
ridiculous. No, it's certain people who are ridiculous.
That's
like
true.
there's Christianity, and then there's crown of bullets.
Yeah, that's true. No, like Christianity done right is fine. Christianity done the way political conservatives in America do it is not so great.
Like I'm just picturing like I don't know what their picture of like the second coming is, like Jesus riding in on a like fucking Raptor jet with like guns ablazing. Like
He won't even bother. He'll just send the drone strikes.
it's gonna be really interesting when like he shows up and doesn't speak English because Hebrew.
No, right?
It's gonna be really confusing when he shows up with a beard looking like an Arab person.
Yes.
And probably pretty dark skinned.
No, because new Jesus is going to be white.
Where they do that at?
Huh?
You can just change colors. You can just change like ethnicities like that. I mean, Michael Jackson tried it.
Isn't God omnipotent? Isn't that a thing? God can make Jesus a different color.
Is God omnipotent? Because they told me that the reason there are school shootings because God was taken out of schools. I broke the logic.
Ah. Anyway. So.
And this shape-shifting armed Jesus.
Yes.
Man, the apocalypse is going to be legit. This is going to be some shit. It's like an action movie.
Yeah.
I'm not getting raptured, so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael Bay's Apocalypse.
I mean, it's going to be crazy because like I've read Revelation. I actually like reading Revelations because it's low key awesome because it's like Lord of the Rings meets the Bible because it's like dragons and shit. So it's just gonna be like cheetah beasts and coming like running over the ground and like evil horse people destroying shit and like a 7-headed dragon with like all the heads doing other things, and then Jesus is gonna ride in on a jet with guns and shoot everyone. That is awesome. Tell me that's not just the most exciting fucking Transformers Michael Bay movie
Yeah,
you ever
no,
seen.
like I want to see Michael Bay direct that movie.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I still
Michael
wouldn't go
Bay.
see it in theaters. I'd
Oh,
wait
no.
until it comes out.
I torrent that shit.
Yeah.
We on the show do not condone the use of torrents.
Nope. Pay for your media.
Pay for your media. We're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, that's true.
They coming for us.
That's true.
I'm already on all this, so it's
That's
okay.
true. I don't torrent things. They can't arrest me for shit.
I can't torrent
I don't
things.
torrent things. I don't smoke anything. They can't do shit to me.
I go
I'm
to
clean.
I go to the World Unification Church of Peace. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't pick me up for your things.
Oh, they're gonna get you by association.
Nah, they can't do that.
Are you white? You'll be fine though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They gonna kill my.
I'm good.
They gonna kill my black ass. They gonna put.
right.
They gonna put me down like Huey Newton. It's not gonna be good.
It's all that militancy.
Oh yeah.
You screwed yourself. Sorry.
I just gotta join the right church.
That's what I'm saying.
I can be.
No, you gotta start your church.
Yeah. The Church of Unification of Peace and Prosperity Gospel.
Oh
of
God, fuck the prosperity gospel.
I gotta throw some more
Some
adjectives in there.
bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Also, rest in hell, Billy Graham. Peace. Sorry, I'm working
Somewhere. Rest somewhere.
I was okay.
Rest in the ground.
Side
In a
note.
box.
Side note. So I was in North Carolina yesterday, and Billy Graham's funeral was coming in, and like, Billy Graham is a duplicitous taint. I've said this multiple times.
In very public forum.
He was a horrible person. He was a bigot, a racist. He basically gave us American Christianity was already kind of corrupted, but man, he sold it. Like he sold it. So yeah, I can't stand him, but like the president and his lackey showed up at the airport when I was leaving, and then suddenly my plane started having maintenance issues, and we had to wait for 2 hours.
Yep.
Can't see the look on my face, but
Yeah.
I know you blocked off my runway, so I couldn't leave. So
Thanks for that.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, no, fuck Billy Graham. Like
Yeah, basically.
Heather Graham's hot though. Yeah, it's the one good
Different
thing.
strokes, man.
It's the good thing. Well, she's older now, but she still looks good.
No, she never really appealed to me, but that's okay.
She's giggly. She's got that woo girl going on.
Think about everything that I like in human beings and tell me how I would find that attractive.
I mean, I wouldn't say I would date Heather Graham,
Oh my god.
but we can hang out,
Okay.
cuddle.
Okay. So we gotta keep moving forward. We gotta keep moving forward through this episode. Like, let's get off this train of thought about Heather Graham and move forward through.
We'll save that for the sex session.
Oh God, no. Because I get to decide what we talk about in the sex segment. Thank you.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Move us into our next segment, please.
Oh, does Jareef? Do you have a news segment you want to, or a news article thing that you want to rant about?
I think that whole,
Oh my God.
and I think that's just a lazy way to handle something. He's like, I don't just give the teachers guns.
I think that whole.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that
Exactly.
We
Right.
fire all the police,
It's
give the
disgusting.
teachers guns,
And I
because
think
if the
that's
teachers
just a
have
lazy
guns, the kids won't become
way to
criminals,
handle
and you won't need the
He's
police.
like, oh, we
Solved
just
it.
give the teachers
Yes.
guns.
Yeah.
They could be the new police.
That's the solution. Obviously. Right? And like the argument that they keep putting forth is that like rural school districts and smaller school districts don't have the resources to hire
Exactly.
dedicated security
Yeah,
officers. And
Stop
I'm
the
like,
problem.
I'm like, you tell me you tell me that Shelby County schools won't use that as an opportunity to save
We
money.
also don't have we also don't have most of these school shootings don't happen in rural school districts either, because most of us can't afford guns, and we keep our guns at home because we're poor and rural.
Yeah.
We use our guns for food.
Yeah. Yes.
I want some deer meat.
I know. Ooh, I have antelope in the freezer.
Why do you have antelope?
Because
Where?
the people that I know
Who are you?
No, it's okay. So it's not antelope. It's pronghorn, right? Which is colloquially referred to as antelope. But because the people that I know who hunt are in Montana.
Do you have some buffalo?
No, those are illegal.
Do you have a home where the buffalo roam? And don't hit me with that.
Sorry, things just got a little violent here. There's one too many songwriters. That was too far. That was a step too far. But no,
It's gonna be. It's gonna be an interesting
game is
episode.
delicious. Game is delicious. Hunting's fine. Just don't. You don't need an AR-15 to kill your deer.
You really don't. Also, hey, trophy hunters, I got an idea.
Fuck off.
No, this is a side note. If you want to trophy hunt, this is what you should do.
Fuck off.
If you really want to prove how big you are by trophy hunting,
You should fuck off.
leave your gun at home.
Yeah, that's right.
You get a hunting knife and some dirt and some camo, and you go kill it with your bare hands. Like, if you're gonna be a man, get that trophy like a
I will even
Man.
I will even buy go out there with a simple bow.
Yeah, a bow.
Right, bow and arrow. Not a compound like fancy one with the like multiple pulleys and the whole system that you could like shoot through a steel block from 100 yards away. But like a simple regular bow, an arrow, and a knife. Go kill your food. Or go kill your trophy, and then you can hang it up.
I've always wanted to go kill a deer with like a hunting knife. Just jump on it.
You would. Yeah. There's a problem with that plan. You can't run.
I'm gonna sneak up on it. You think I'm gonna run? Deer used to come to my house, eat blueberries all the time. I was gonna get them while they're distracted, stab them in the neck.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, with that mental image in my head, ugh, lovely. Let's move into a next segment, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I mean, we're not. The musician is here.
The musician is here.
So we don't have to have a musical interlude.
Our musician is distracted.
Hey, y'all doing?
Good. So normally we do a musical interlude, and you said you were going to play for us. Do you want to play a little something for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Jareef Green, everybody.
I know what this world takes. Credit and courage, all the same. Gently pushing me to the edge. Well, I can't see in front of me, but I know you're there. And I remember I remember all your thoughts and gifts I have. Prayers and hopes of a faithful path. Well, I may not dream as you, but one thing, you one thing remains true. I remember I remember I remember I Oh, the tidal waves, they seem so tall, but nothing compares to the love I have for you. Oh, the tidal waves that seem so tall, I see nothing compares to the love I have for you. Oh, oh, ooh, oh,
Yay! I like this, having live music. This is fun.
It was weird. I didn't know whether to clap or not. Like,
I know.
it just
Like, yay, there's two of us clapping. That sounds really sad.
I think the emotion got through.
Yeah.
it's excellent.
Thanks.
So, welcome back into, in lieu of a topic segment today, we have an artist interview with Jareef. Definitely wanted to make sure to have you on the show here pretty soon, because you came back on my radar a couple weeks ago. We featured your music, but you came back on my radar because you've been posting all about this album release thing that's coming up, which I definitely want to make sure you get a chance to talk about all of that. But let's see. Again, I didn't prepare for this interview. I never prepare for my interviews.
See,
I should stop booking people because I never know what's.
see, when I book people, I prepare.
I know.
I write down questions.
I know you do, and I obviously don't. You can see my book.
She's white. She's supposed to be better than this.
Well,
You're supposed to be
That has anything to do with it. Okay.
You're supposed to be in charge. Supposed to be prepared.
Well, I'm happy to be here, no matter if the person is black, white, or Asian.
Prepared or unprepared or whatever.
Hispanic.
Yeah, so I sent you a message after we had your music on the show the other day, and I had listened to the songs as I was putting them into the podcast, and the first one that I used, Unemployed of the Month.
Yeah.
And I sent you that message. I was like, I immediately thought, like, it started, and I immediately thought, like, either he listens to the Kings of Convenience or he needs to.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that, like, the music that I've heard of yours so far, I haven't heard very much of it, but the music that I've heard so far, you have really, really diverse, like, influences. You pull a lot of stuff, and I've noticed that. I kind of like really want you to set me up a Spotify playlist. Like, I want your Spotify.
I'm mad to do that.
Give us your hot list. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like the hot list of artists.
Yeah, like let's say who is your most influential? Like,
I say, man, I'm gonna have to give it up to my boys, like, cause they both got it. Like Trent Reznor and Josh Homme, they're like been influential throughout my whole life. And as I got older, I started to have more like inspirational people in my life, like as far as artists. But I would say Trent Reznor, because he was the first person who actually made me listen to lyrics. And if you listen to his lyrics are actually explaining something. Yeah. And what they're explaining is like hard times and having to deal with like depression, and like with me and so many other people, it's really easy to fall into depression. And you just like, when somebody is able to, when somebody able to like explain it the way that he does, and I'm like, you listen, and then you like, well, shit, yeah, that's what it's like. Can I cuss on here?
oh yeah, no, we cuss a lot.
All right.
You say we cuss a lot. We don't actually cuss that much.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking
I'm falling
about
out of
it.
the habit because I teach. Like, I can't cuss all day anymore.
I'm falling into the habit because I'm black and angry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Motherfuckers.
Anyway, but yeah, no. Yeah, and profanity is fine.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm like, cool, man. but yeah, and after that, I just saw George Clinton and P-Funk. So yeah, that was like swing down.
I missed
it. And let me ride. That was something else.
I wish.
Down, chariot, won't you let me ride?
Yes, to be in a band.
I grew up on Parliament Funkadelic, so make my funk a P-Funk. Want my funk uncut.
Make my funk to P-Funk. I want to be funked. I want the bomb. I want the P-Funk. Yeah, that's just. But yeah, and it was nice. But I definitely say George Clinton. And after like, man, because like he also created like a type of music that was kind of like when you talk about Funkadelic and P-Funk, and people like they came out with an album. I think like, what is a Funkadelic, or who's a Funkadelic, or something like that. And just like everything that he paints, it's a cult following for a reason. I feel like it. And
sorry, I was going to tell you something.
Listening.
So George Clinton, he actually he took all of his inspiration, like everything he does, from this jazz artist, legendary Sun Ra, and Sun Ra's unbelievable. But even like going back to what we were talking about, like cults and stuff. George Clinton, like Parliament Funkadelic and even Sun Ra's thing, they kind of operate very cult-like. You do certain, like if you're in Funkadelic, you do certain things, and you are a part of, like, you're not just you anymore. Once you're a part of Funkadelic, you're a part of Funkadelic. You don't do drugs with George Clinton. He was not for that. Like, he would kick people out of Funkadelic like immediately if he found out they were doing drugs.
If he found out that they were, man, that's crazy.
Yep. Like he built something that that whole Afro-futuristic vibe. Let the mothership come down. Like,
yeah. It was kind of like hooking up like a battery like the negative and the positive on like Sunrise stuff, and they just cranking it all the way up because it's so wild and so crazy and like so out there. And I'm like listening to that, and I'm like, yeah, dude, wherever planet this music comes from, this is where I come from because it's all types of weird, and I like this.
They believe that shit too. Like when they talked about the mothership coming down, it wasn't even just like, oh, it's a thing to say. No, it was literally the mothership has come down and take black people away to a better place. And like this is the music. Like this is the music that the mothership is bringing us. Like they believed it. Like it was real.
Shangri-La. Something
Yeah.
like that. Like it's just like a promised land of just like amazingness.
This is Wakanda. That's where you're going.
Yeah. We want to go to Wakanda.
Yeah.
My coworker, I was gonna call him my friend because we're so close, but my coworker, he's a Nigerian and he saw the movie and he was tripping out. He was like, it made me feel so proud of my people. So yeah.
Yeah, we had Rico on last week for the podcast episode, and we ran. I ended up cutting a little bit of it out, but we talked we recorded for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is longer than the movie is. About how great black, and we didn't have a topic or we didn't have a news segment, we didn't have a sex segment. We literally just talked for the episode ended up being like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something about how great Black Panther is, and then we shut the recording off and talked for another half hour. There's like a whole half hour of stuff that we talked about that like didn't even get recorded.
There was a good 15-20 minutes in the probably episode that probably got cut out.
Yeah. It was.
It's an amazing movie.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, Rico, Negro Terror, one of the best bands here in Memphis.
Yes.
With I saw his name on. Well, I'm not gonna say what it is online, but Omar.
Yeah.
And what's the drummer's name? I was
Raid.
And Raid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanna shout them out because they're amazing and very influential, and I'm thankful that I know them. So
yeah, we've
show.
had their music on the show many times. They're one of our cast of bands that like if I didn't have time to schedule anybody else, like I didn't have time to reach out and get somebody else to be featured. Yeah. I just text Rico. I'm like, hey, we're using your music again.
Also, Rico just kind of shows up on the show randomly anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah, we've had him on a couple of times. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, they're fantastic. We love them.
Nice.
But oh, we were still in the middle of a list. Did you have?
It's like you're supposed to be running this.
I don't know why you keep expecting me to run shit. I can't run things. I don't know. But yeah, so. I mentioned earlier. So you've been doing this album thing?
Yeah.
Tell me about this album.
Talk about.
Super excited.
Nudge. Talk about the album.
Talk about the album.
Well, the album is called "From the Rudy to the Tootie."
Nice.
And it'll be out towards the end of March. And this is my first album ever making myself.
Yeah.
And I did like all the vocals, all the guitar, like didn't do any drums, but did the bass and programmed some drums for basically just like did everything, pretty much everything.
Nice.
And it's been a lot. It's been a ride. It's been a ride, and it's been I just like. It's been crazy because things aren't coming out like when I'm expecting them to come out. Things are happening when I'm expecting them to happen. I've had like an artist drop out. Like I'm trying like still pretty much still kind of like looking for somebody to do the album art, but like all the music is done and it's in the mixing and mastering process. And so yeah, it's been awesome. I really like it, and it sounds good. And I can't wait for people to hear it.
If you're looking for somebody to do some album art, I know some people.
Yeah, I know a few people.
No, this always the case. It's like I know somebody, but then it's like I'm like, man, I hope they can actually do it. Like people like what I'm pretty sure your people are like good people, and your people are good people. But it's like the people I've been running into, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then you like 2 weeks go by, or a week goes by, you contact them, 2 weeks goes by, and then you're like, hey, you got that thing? And then they're kind of like, yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but so you got a album, is there a release party? Is that coming up on the 10th, right?
March 10th.
March 10th.
It'll be more like a listening party rather than a release party. Because
nice.
I did put release party, but I'm going to
Yeah.
have to change it because things are taking
Yeah.
a little bit more time.
It's
but-
previews. It's a preview party.
Preview party. Hey, I'm going to put that down. Preview party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, where's that at?
It's going to be at Young Avenue Deli.
Oh, that's right. I remember you had said that. Yeah.
March 10th at, I think, 10:30, starting at 10:30.
I'm gonna have to go, but that's late for me. I'm one of those old people.
Again, that's Young Avenue Deli, March 10th,
Yeah.
around 10:30.
Be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Where is it? When is that? What day is that on?
It's a Saturday.
Like next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
I think I can swing that.
Sick.
Sick?
You don't even understand. I've been saying that all the time.
Gnarly, far out.
Not. I am like I am a reincarnated like surfer from the 90s. Right? Everything is sick. Everybody is bruh. It's just a thing.
Hang 10, brah.
You don't understand.
Cowabunga.
My past life, like I was a surfer,
Ninja Turtle.
and then I died like in a horrible surfing accident. Like
Yeah,
a
you like,
wave threw me into a reef, and now here I am.
Got munched on by a shark. It's gnarly.
Yes, exactly. No, I say that all the time, and frankly, I'm kind of surprised that you have not picked that one up yet.
In this other life, I was the dude watched from the beach like, man, he got fucked up.
Yeah.
The way when you were surfing and like that wave hit, were you just like, oh, well, this is the way I always wanted to go out, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bring it on, man. Yeah.
Going
It was great.
going to the giant luau in the sky.
Yep. Spent my life chasing the big waves. Finally found it.
Yeah. I wish my bros could see this right now.
Exactly.
Like Valhalla for surfer dudes.
They
Yes.
gonna name this whole beach after me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Chad Beach. Yeah.
They named it Idiot Beach for some reason, huh? I don't get it.
Idiot Beach. Yes, exactly.
I can see it right now. The child walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. God. Sorry, I'm really bad at interviews.
Okay, so you said who's like who you're influenced by. So right now, who are your? Let's go with top 5 artists out there, any genre.
Who's on the top of your Spotify playlist?
It's top of the spot. I would definitely say, Kendrick Lamar did a great job with the Black Panther soundtrack.
That goes without saying.
That was amazing. That was great. I have to say, just for no ordinary reason, but A$AP Ferg, he's pretty tight. I've been listening to a couple of his songs. Like I was listening to his songs yesterday, and it's always great to have somebody who's like very interesting. Just to listen to someone who's interesting. If the artist can't make you laugh and make you be like, "Ooh, that's dope," then like I don't feel they're doing their job as an artist because not everything's serious and not everything's funny. So I think you have to be able to just mix it up. So yeah. And 3, I think I go for this is like not ranking nobody, but it's just like I would definitely say Kendrick Lamar is number 1. Mark Ronson's pretty good in what he's done within the last, I guess I'd say like 5 or 6 years, I think.
Mark Ronson's been around way longer than like I thought he had.
Yeah.
He's been around a while.
Forever.
Yeah.
And he's worked with everybody.
Yeah. Really worked with everybody, literally.
Yeah.
Mark Ronson, he's one of those people that is like he's trying his damnedest to keep the funk alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I respect the hell out of that. Like he's still doing it.
I can't let this funk die. The funk is gonna stay alive. Open it up. Open up that can of funk.
It reminds
Get
me.
the fans going. Yeah.
That reminds me of this show that used to come on like Adult Swim. It was called The Mighty Boosh, and they did this one episode. It was a weird episode, but like this weird like fish man kidnaps this dude. And he brings him like a chest, and he goes, "I got something for you." And this guy's like had a band. He's like, "I got something for you," and he brings up this like weird ball with like eyes and like nipples all around it, and it's like purple. It says, "I got the funk." It's like, what? Like, here it is. It's the funk. So they explain it like, so the mothership came down, and this alien thing came and fell on Bootsy Collins, and Bootsy Collins like milked it and like drank its milk and got the funk. And that's where funk music came from. So, and like, they lost, like, the funk was lost when, like, Bootsy Collins and George Clinton were, like, playing with it one day, and they kicked it off the mothership accidentally. And,
That's like perfect.
and, like, found it in a swamp. And like, I'll let you have it. Let you have the funk.
You showed me this episode one time, and it was really, really late
It's
at night,
weird.
and I thought that you had put something in my food. I was like, what
It's
the fuck
weird.
is this?
If anybody,
I don't understand.
if anybody ever, like anybody's listening to this who haven't seen The Mighty Boosh, specifically the episode Old Greg, go watch it. It's weird, but it's wild. But like the one of the funniest parts is like he's giving him the funk. Gotta have the funk. Let you have it. If you marry me, I'll give you the funk. It was weird. Oh my god.
It is very strange.
Oh man.
It is very strange.
Man, well, that's everything. That's everything about the funk. Everything about the funk is strange. You know, I was watching this thing that said like where the funk originated from, and like they were saying that it came from like what was his name? James Brown.
Oh yeah.
James Brown. They said it came from like James
Good
Brown. I know, right? Get on up.
Get on up. Too hot for the hot tub.
Did y'all see?
That was unnerving. I'm unnerved.
That's how James Brown did it.
That was James Brown.
He was just being like interviews. I saw this one interview. That's good. They're motion lights.
Yeah.
But I was watching this one interview, and it was because he, I think, like it was the craziest thing because it was a domestic.
Oh
abuse
yeah, where he
thing.
like pushed his like wife down some stairs or something.
It was something
Yeah.
crazy. And like the lady was like, "So what did you do?" And she was trying to talk about like what actually happened. And he was like, "I feel good." and she was like, "Yeah, that's nice, but what's happening with you and your wife? I heard y'all are having problems." "We don't have problems. Who has problems?" "I don't have problems. James Brown."
She fell. She fell into my fist. Accident. Not my fault. Can't prove it.
He just went totally to like the opposite side. And he was like, she was like, well, what do you have coming up? It's like, yeah, I'll be playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Be down there with the senoritas. And he was like so high. He was so high, he had these big, huge glasses on. It's almost like they put them on, like, put these on, James, so they can't see your pupils. Because that's how high he was.
Like, oh my god.
It was
The Godfather. The Godfather's insane. He was wild.
It was great. Like aside from the whole like domestic abuse is like no joke at all.
Yeah, it's not.
It's messed up.
Also,
anybody who would do that. And,
Just
like,
don't trust musicians named Brown.
Name Brown.
Yeah, right.
Preferably James. If his name is James Brown
Or Chris.
Or Chris, yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
All those Browns out there, y'all might have to change y'all's names.
Look. If the last name's Brown, they can dance and sing. Don't date.
No.
Ladies,
Yeah, watch
Warned.
be warned. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, James Brown basically, they were saying created the funk, but that's when Bootsy was in the band anyway, and he would like tell so many people, he would, I want you to do this, because he didn't, I don't think he like knew how to play, so all he knew was like, he just had the funk, he just had it running through him, he just like had it going in his veins, so like, whenever he had the bandmates like sit down, he was like, this is what I'm hearing, I want you to play this on the bass, bump, 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 and I want you to do this on the drums, but pop, boom, pop, pump, pat, and like, I want you to do this on the guitar, bow, 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 bow. And then like, before they knew it, he was like, they were saying like, you had like a whole orchestration, like, and then the band could like figure it out because they were great musicians.
Yeah.
But they also said like, after a while, it was like a whole lot to do. So then they kind of like started joining Bootsy and what Bootsy was doing, because Bootsy Collins was, is that James Brown's bass player, like after a while. But anyway, so yeah, that began to grow something even new, because Bootsy then started playing for George Clinton, and George Clinton was even wilder and even more out there than James Brown. So then you got those big mega worlds coming together, and then you get Funkadelic, and
See,
that's where we started.
It was actually interesting. So, all those guys actually started out in like soul and doo-wop. Like that's where they started out. And before there was Parliament and Parliament Funkadelic, there was Parliament and Funkadelic. Parliament was a soul group, and they did stuff more like the Temptations. And George Clinton was like out there in front. And clean cut George Clinton is the weirdest thing to see. Like, George Clinton looking like a Temptation is weird. But then there was Funkadelic George Clinton. And then when like funk really started kicking off, they combined them. And that's when like the group became massive, because they literally combined two separate bands, two separate styles of music into just one like super group. Actually, they're probably the first like super group in American history, if we want to think about it like that, because like you had collaborations from time to time, but you didn't have like two big groups of like at least popular with black people bands like just coming together. It's like, we doing this one thing now.
Yeah.
Pretty huge.
Back on Mark Ronson, I got to give it to Mark Ronson. I got to give it to Bruno Mars, because Bruno Mars, to have grown up as an Elvis impersonator, he is trying his damnedest to just once again keep the funk alive. He went from like straight up like I'm a pop singer basically to just like the funkiest shit you hear now. Yeah, like, and taking that chance in modern, like our modern culture of music, that's a big chance, and he did it.
Yeah, especially with Finesse. I think that was like such a jam, because it can't. Have y'all heard that
Oh
song,
yeah,
Finesse?
Yeah.
Yes. Finesse is like, it's like 90s Boys to Men and like BVD and New Edition. It's just got that New Jack Swing. I love that stuff.
That thing hitting. And I was like listening to it, and I was like, I can't even believe this on the radio. I was like, I love this shit. And it's just, it's amazing.
Cardi B on the track sounding like Left Eye.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
What year is this?
Yeah, I know, right? Literally every time that comes, like, and I'm like a real nerd when it comes to like audio and everything and replicating old stuff. And the way that they did that and replicated it, man, it's just like on point. It's like listening to that track, it sounds like the next track is going to be like, I don't know, just like some straight up old school, like Boys to Men, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like, so hell yeah.
They're versatile, and I like versatility in music. Like when you're an artist and you can just go, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this type of music. And it's completely different than what you've been doing, and it works. Yeah. You good. It also shows passion. Like, you're not going to just switch and like start doing like different kinds of music if you did not have a passion for that type of music, because it wouldn't come out. Like you can't play funk music if you don't have the funk is a feeling. Like it is a feeling. If you don't have the funk in you, you cannot make funk music. Yeah. That's why disco died.
I don't think that's the only reason
Disco was dance funk. Disco was dance funk / white people funk.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love me some disco.
Oh no, disco
Just
was
had way
great
too
when
much
it
white in
started.
It may be my problem, but I love me some disco. And my mom had like that genealogy thing done, and I was like, oh, that's why I like disco. I'm like, but anyway, it's actually pretty nice, and if you can do it well, and Mark Ronson actually does quite a bit of disco himself, and but nah, it's amazing when you can like. If you can like do it and mix it with funk like the way that like the Bee Gees did it, if you think about it, like honestly, if you think about it, like the most famous song that they got, "Staying Alive,"
Oh, that is funky as hell.
Funky as shit. But then it goes into like that part that it's just like, stay alive. And then that stuff,
Excellent.
when that comes in, it's just like, ooh, it's nice, it is cool, but it's like, it's just kind of like
It's
a little
weird.
bit limp.
Yeah.
And then like, but it's a great song, and they did a good job with funk and disco.
See, I love the way funk evolves because I'm sorry, like this has become the funk podcast.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back.
Oh yeah, Bobble.
Because-
yeah.
Like the genealogy of funk, like funk is also kind of the precursor to like punk music a little bit, like because as like when punk was starting to evolve, like and rock, that 80s rock was starting to evolve. That 80s rock was coming off funk, like Rick James. Rick James is still one of the funkiest people ever.
Yeah.
Like, ow, Rick James. I talk like this. He talks a lot like old Greg from the show, actually.
What's so funny is because like him and the other dude, what's the guy from the Commodores?
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, Lionel Richie.
People don't realize, like, they see Lionel Richie like clean cut Lionel Richie, hello.
Yeah.
But the Commodores were a funk band,
They was
like straight up
funky as
funk.
shit.
Ow. Jeans on Brent. Funk hurts a little bit. Like when you, you gotta feel a little pain. Like the singers go hurt a little bit when they doing the funk. And, like, people don't even realize, like, Prince was funk when he like.
Yeah, he was funk for a long time.
Yeah, like Prince's music combined funk with like pop rock. Like that's what it was. And Prince's music never lost that funky little side effect. And but he always kept doing something different with it. And it worked. Like, so I've been like listening to Janelle Monáe. Like I'm obsessed with Janelle Monáe constantly anyway.
Yes,
like,
yes, you are.
Yes. I'm still mad that I didn't get to meet her. If anybody knows Janelle Monáe, contact her because just want to hang out one day because I think you're awesome. But
So tell our listeners where they can find you so they can track you down and follow your stuff.
okay, follow your stuff. Don't say track you down. Like
On the internet.
yeah,
That's not any better.
Well, follow my
Yeah,
stuff.
where they can follow you.
his
Where they can
music.
follow you.
They can
Follow
you
the
can
music.
get his music.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Don't follow
That's
people
what I mean.
in
Find
real
out more
life.
information about your music and your album. Sorry, I sound creepy. I always sound creepy. Okay.
I really didn't take it like that, honestly. You said
See,
follow my
now-
stuff,
now
right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm thinking about some things. Well, they can follow your stuff. Do you have a spread somewhere, just like a nice, just like of what you got going on? Do you have? I'm trying to say, do you got your
Pornhub's
package
newest model.
laying around somewhere that we can make? Okay, for our viewers to view. You know what I'm saying?
This is a weird turn already.
For our viewers, you can check out my package. I mean, my profile on on Facebook, just at Jareef Green, and you can check me out on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I'm Jareef Green, Jareef Green 1. And I'll be uploading my album to there soon, and lots of new exciting things, videos. So yeah, and I'm always putting out covers and stuff, so it'll be on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of course, we're gonna give y'all links
Links.
So-
So many links.
so you don't have to hunt people down.
Track them down,
Yeah, track them down.
as it were. Sorry. I just made Keem a little uncomfortable.
A little bit. All right. Hey. How about we get a little more music?
A little more music, and then we'll take it
Oh,
into the sex.
so wait, since I don't know if you had a song in mind, but you said you do covers.
Yeah.
Can we do covers? I think covers are fine. Covers are fine. Yeah, covers are fine because they're covers, right? Yeah. We're not. This is not for money.
That's true.
Not
We're
for
not
money.
profiting off of anybody.
Do you have I love covers. You got a cover for us?
A cover. I'm trying to think something that's well known. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure this one out.
Yeah, I make the artist interviews. I make them a challenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do. Also, I will say, whoever is rehearsing downstairs, they are also smoking.
Again,
Well, downstairs smells like weed.
again, as this records, we do not endorse the use of illicit drugs
No.
on this podcast.
No, I do say though. The
Unless
whole
you're in
downstairs
Colorado,
place
which
smells
means
like
they're
weed.
not illicit, or California, Massachusetts, legalize it.
Oregon, Washington, Colorado.
Yeah.
Man, I guess I'm gonna try this song. I don't know how well it's gonna go. Y'all know any Credence?
Nice. You know, this is shit I grew
The white
up on.
person's like, yes.
See, you all grew up on George Clinton, and I grew up on CCR.
All right, let's see what I can do. I see a bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't turn out the lights, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go out tonight, well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. I hear hurricanes blowing. I know the end is coming soon. I feel rivers overflowing. I feel the voice of rage and ruin. Don't go out tonight, but it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go out tonight, but it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. I hope you've got your shit together.
We don't.
I hope you are quite prepared to die. I know something. Looks like we're in for nasty times. I don't even know if that's the lyric, but don't go out tonight. It's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go out tonight, see it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise.
Yay! I like the new
Thanks.
lyrics.
You like the new lyrics?
We're leaving that in.
We're leaving that in.
Yeah.
Cool, really?
Yeah, we're leaving that in.
So what's it, what I say? I was looks like we're in for nasty times or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
And the lyrics were completely different.
That's fine.
That's how
That's fine.
that's how we avoid copyright right
Yep.
there.
I know, right?
We remixed it. Y'all wasn't even ready.
There you go.
So Esme, we have a sex segment we're going to get
Yay!
into.
Welcome back, everybody, to the sex segment after our amazing live music from Jareef Green, which we're gonna have to do this live thing more often. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have to get myself a studio, and then I can invite people over to sing for me. It'll be great.
No.
Or just like have people come over to my house. I don't know. Something. But so yeah, we have a sex segment, and we are today going to be kind of rambling and probably coming to no real conclusions about how to have a good threesome.
Coming to conclusions.
Oh, shut up. Oh my God. It's the least original sex pun, and you use it like every time.
Also, great name for a band, Sex Puns.
Sex puns. That's probably already a name. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably.
There's
Yeah.
like so many bands out there with names
Yeah.
that you would think of, like all of a sudden, and like, that's already taken.
If it's not a name, somebody just took it from us.
Yeah.
Don't steal our copyright.
Don't steal. Don't steal our stuff, man.
Intellectual. Go for it.
Anyway, but yeah, so we're going to be talking about threesomes and how to have a good threesome.
Esme's
Which
going to teach us.
I have no fucking idea. I mean, all my threesomes have been good, but I feel like they've been good by accident instead of by design. So I'm going to be marginally helpful. So that's why I said we're going to ramble for a while, probably come to no real conclusions. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So I'm okay.
Hold on. That just sounded like you were just talking about a threesome right there. You're like, let's see how this goes.
I mean,
We may come to no real conclusions.
or
That
there
was
may be
hilarious.
conclusions. I don't know.
One person may conclude. Two people may conclude. Every person may not conclude.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't conclude.
I have a hard time concluding sometimes.
Same here.
Me too with people the first couple times. I have a hard time concluding.
I know.
Concluding.
Anyway,
We've come to this conclusion.
this
Man,
went off the rails already. What the hell are we doing here, guys?
All right, let's go back to the lab. Threesomes.
Threesomes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about having threesomes. Yeah. So this is again something like I have had. How many? Several.
There was no number. You just said several.
Several? No, definitely several.
MFM, FFM.
Yes.
I don't know if I was.
Also, some with some non-binary people. Like, why does gender have to be involved
I was
here?
gonna go MB.
Yeah, right.
MF.
Yeah, like
MFB.
combinations of people.
Make it.
They're combinations of people. No, I've had several.
P3. People times 3.
Yes. But in any case, but I feel like, yes, I'm 10 or so times.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
I don't know. I lost track. But I feel like all of mine have been by accident rather than by design. Like, I don't know what made them work.
Alcohol?
Not always, though. Sometimes.
See,
Some okay. So some surprise to everybody.
I'm not laughing
Like
at you.
having a couple of drinks can like lowers inhibitions and just kind of makes you relax a little bit. Not that I'm condoning getting
For
drunk and
some
having sex.
people.
Yes. Not that I'm condoning getting drunk and having sex because that gets into weird places with consent.
yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
not cool.
Don't
Don't
do
get
that.
somebody drunk and then have sex with them because that's rape. Don't know if you know.
And by the way, I feel like, sorry to interrupt, but I feel like people should be more, not people, I feel that men should be more responsible. And when it comes to it, be more responsible when they see their friends going out or leaving a place with a girl who's like staggering all over the place.
Yeah.
And they should be like, dude, the first thing that they should be like is, dude, you taking her straight home and then leaving, right? Like, you're taking her home, you're getting her in a safe place, and you're leaving, right? Like, you're not gonna fuck her, like, basically like that. Because it's like, if you trust your friend enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna take her home, and then if that's that girlfriend or something like that, I'm gonna take her home, and then I'm just going to chill there. Then we will wake up. We're going to go back and go get her car from the spot because we both drove separate cars, because actually that happened to me one time. And we just actually, like, that whole drunk situation, it happens more times than you think. And it's like, man, it may look bad to, like, other people because other people don't know who you are, but you always have to be responsible. But if you're somewhere with friends, guys, if we're somewhere with friends, we need to be able to tell them that, and we need to be able to tell them, if we're with that girl, to be like, hey, man, I'm leaving. I just want you to know this, and I want to, like, to keep everything on the straight path and be like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. And then after it happens, check back in with them, because, like, you never know. People say a lot of different things, and not to say, oh, so-and-so's a liar or anything like that, but you just want everybody to be on the same page and everybody to know what's happening.
It's for your safety, and, like, it's like if you like doing this for your friend, like, it's for your friend's safety and for the other person's there with safety. Yeah. Because even if they're both drunk and they're whatever, you can't tell how that situation is going to play out.
Yeah.
And somebody could get themselves into trouble by not being drunk and not understanding the situation. Yeah. And getting if I know some guys like, you being a cock block. No, if sometimes you got to get in there. And,
you have sex with like a completely drunk person.
Yeah, I mean, you're being a good person, and you're protecting both the person you're friends with and your friend, even if they don't see it themselves.
Yeah, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, to what ends does it matter if you, like, actually sticking your dick into someone? It's like, who cares? It's like, if they're completely fucked up and they're drunk, it's like, you're not supposed to do that shit. That shit is wrong. Yeah. And then for people to think, oh no, you're like that. What you just said, you're a cock blocker.
Like you're a cock blocker and you're a rapist.
It's like, yeah, I know. Right? It's like you just gonna have sex with somebody who's just basically passed out. You know. Yeah. But yeah, people should. We all need to be more responsible as men in this world, because we're making this place a place for our children, or like all the kids that we see, a better place to live in, or we're making it a worse place with all these guns that's going around.
I also say, women don't do it either. I know we're talking men here. But don't get douche drunk and do that, or other women drunk.
Don't get anybody drunk.
Don't get nobody
with the intention of making it easier to have sex with them.
Yeah,
that is not cool.
Like, okay,
that's like
back on threesomes.
Yes.
And this goes to the couples doing the hunting thing. I see that a lot in, like, the poly groups, where, like, couples will go out and, like, buy somebody drinks and to like. Don't do that.
Unicorn hunters.
Don't.
Unicorn hunters?
Yeah.
I pretty much thought there was a unicorn, too. I was like, people don't just hang out at bars for that. I was like, you kind of have to discuss that type of stuff.
But there are some people who go out hunting. Yeah.
So, really okay. So I got us off on a weird tangent. The point I was originally trying to make, if I have a beer, right, is relax. Chill out, guys. This is not a thing that you really need to stress out about. And, like, having a drink helps some people relax.
Sometimes there are illicit herbs that one can find.
But
we do not support that type of thing here at the Out of Horses podcast.
Don't get impaired, but get yourself whatever it takes for you to get, like, no, I'd say whatever it takes. I keep saying shit that I don't actually mean. Yeah. But, like,
I do that stuff all the time.
Relax, but not like I can't function. Relax.
But be relaxed, right? Like, don't put yourself in a high pressure situation. This anytime you approach sex for anything, right? If it's putting yourself in a high pressure situation, that's going to make it not fun. It's going to make it difficult to do the things that you want to do.
There's be only one part of you that's rigid. Am I right?
Of you, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, it was a dumb joke. I get it.
Yes. But relax. Don't put yourself in a high stress situation. If you're extremely worried about it, either like you can opt out of that situation, right? That's a thing. I have had good success. I think all of the threesomes that I have had, I've never had
sex.
No, success. Thank you.
Dude, you just hamming it up over there, man.
My life.
I'm using this to work out things for my comedy routine.
How long have we been together?
2 years. Over 2 years.
Over 2 years. Would you like to continue to be together?
Okay, we're going to be serious now for a second. Go on.
I'm not actually threatening to break up with you over the puns. Yet.
You have.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I have. I'm not seriously threatening to break up with you over the puns.
This is why I can't have threesomes. It's puns.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the puns.
Yes, it's the puns.
It's the puns.
But so I was saying, I've never had a bad threesome. Like they've all been like at least moderately successful. But every threesome that I have had has I've never gone and like tried to approach two people that I didn't know and who didn't know each other, right? Like every threesome that I've had, at least two of the people in the situation have like a previous sexual history with each other. And that seems to work out really well. It's easier to know, like, there's more established chemistry there. It's just easier to know what to do if you. It can actually be really, really hot to like turn to the next person in the bed and say, what should I do to this person right now that would get them really hot?
Damn.
Like that is really fun to do. And it just works out really well. But that's just my experience.
So I actually have some threesome questions.
Yes.
That are coming up.
Are you gonna probe me?
Nope. Later. Gosh, not on the show. This is not what we do here. I'm having a day, guys. So, one of the concerns that people have often come up with when they're talking about threesomes is how for a threesome to seem egalitarian, as in how not to like accidentally section someone off, or like you're getting going and like maybe two people are having a little more chemistry in the moment than the other person. How do
you have two hands, a mouth, and some genitals? Get creative, guys.
Okay.
I mean, you have to like pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. Like you can, or pat your head and rub somebody else's stomach, or pat someone else's head.
Lots of different variations.
Yeah, no, like, and there's no rule that says everybody has to get exactly the same amount of attention at every moment, right? Like,
No.
necessarily things will sometimes things will happen between two people and one person will sit back for a second and then like
get some Gatorade.
Yeah, go get some Gatorade, like take a sip of water, and then jump back into it somehow,
Gotta
right?
tag out, get some rest.
Like one thing that I always recommend is communicate. Like talk to each other. Like even if this is like a spontaneous thing that's like suddenly happening, like talk to each other like in the moments. I mean, you should always talk to your sexual partners before you have sex with them, right? Especially if it's somebody new. Say, what's your safe sex policy? Like, what kind of barriers do you like to use? Blah blah blah. Like, what are all these things?
Are you on birth control?
Are you on birth control? Like check in and say, what kinds of things do you like? Especially if it's somebody that you've never had sex with before. Like, what kinds of things do you like? What would you like done to you? Right? Like, what kinds of things do you like to do?
Yeah.
Right? Some people don't like to perform oral sex, and that's fine. Some people are not super into penetration, and that's fine. Like, there are lots of things that you can do. So, ask. That's my advice for everything, right? Like, how do I make sure that one person doesn't feel left out? Like, if you're concerned about that in the moment, look over at them and say, what would you like me to do to you?
Okay. Oh.
Like, that's my policy. That's always my policy.
All right. Let's go heteronormative for a second. So, in a MFM, that's male, female, male for you porn watchers and people.
No, anybody who watches porn knows what that means.
Yeah. Maybe there's some new people out there trying to figure out.
Anyway, MFM.
A lot of time there is when you're dealing with issues of masculinity, there's.
I don't know why you're asking me this question.
Yeah, true.
You can ask me the question if you want, but I'm not going to be able to answer it
What
very
would you
well.
recommend for a straight guy or going into like an MFM who may feel a little bit like weird, like he wants to do it, and this is not giving an example of like someone. Yeah, no, it's not. I'm just asking. Don't get any implications, folks. I know what they're doing. I know what they're thinking. What would you like advice would you give a guy to like not be to be more comfortable in that scenario? Because I always make the joke is that like there are rules in that type of in a devil's threesome as they call it.
Which
The Eiffel Tower, Golden Gate. There are 1,000 words for it. I can go along.
That's a good band name, the Devil's Threesome.
It really is.
3-piece band.
Yeah.
That's really.
It's
They were
okay
like
when it's
bikers.
in a three-way. It's not gay when it's in a three-way. There's a shorty in the middle. There's some leeway. So okay, for real though, what would you suggest?
Okay, so one of the biggest frustrations that I have in everything, my day-to-day life, is basically trying to combat the I can't do that, it's gay thing, which chill the fuck out, guys. Straight guys, straight dudes, chill out.
Hey, bro, that shit gay, bro.
Okay. Just chill out.
That's the real.
Just chill out.
That is the line. That's some gay shit right there, man.
Oh, dude, I know.
Bro,
But
that shit
okay,
gay as
it's
hell,
always
man.
funny. The same dudes that I always hit at from were also the same dudes in college talking about, oh, we're gonna run a train tonight. You doing the same thing?
Yeah. So, number one, chill out and stop worrying about whether or not anything is gay, right? Like, who cares? Step two, you know what step two is. I don't know why you ask me these questions. Step two is talk before you have this threesome and say, hey, I'm straight and I'm not comfortable with this and this and this, so let's not do this and this and this. Like, let's do these things instead.
Right.
Like,
Lay down the rules.
yeah, like... Yeah, exactly, right? Like, every person going into every sexual encounter has the right to express what their boundaries are. If your boundaries say, yes, like, I am okay, like, having sex, having three-way sex where these two men both do things to a woman, but don't do anything to each other. Fine. That's fine. Just don't freak out about it.
Nah, I feel like that's kind of like an unwritten thing to what Rashawn.
Oh, my name?
Yeah, I did.
Keem. Just go with Keem.
Rakeem.
Keem.
So I'm sorry, man. I know.
No, it's
I got
fine. He's been on our show for like 3 hours.
I guess that is bad. That's pretty bad. But
It's all right.
but yeah, I feel like what you just said. I think that's like an unwritten law, like between men. Like I've never even had a threesome before, and I definitely don't want a threesome between me, another guy, and a girl. Like maybe if it was like my 6th threesome, but I think that's gonna
You
be
gotta
like
build up to it.
I know, right?
Like
I gotta.
threesome number 6, we can bring a dude.
I know, right? Maybe.
No, but it's like get creative with
market it
stuff.
off.
Like talk about what your boundaries actually are. Like, and if you don't want to jump in there like right away,
Yeah, maybe then, or maybe the 6th, or maybe the 3rd. I don't know. But either way, I think that
every third threesome is a MFM.
I feel like it's kind of like between men. It's kind of like, hey, dude, we finna fuck this girl, right? Like that's like the idea is like, and it's like, yeah, we about to fuck the shit out of ass. And then I think that's like the
It's so
thing.
weird. Like coming from like black community, it is like a bro moment. It's like, we about to do this. Like it's this like strange brotherly love moment. It's a little strange. Like it really is a bro moment though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but so yeah, no, that's my thing, right? Is talk about it, talk about what you're okay with, right? That's always my advice. What else? I had another one. How do you chill out? How do you relax about it? I don't know. Stop being afraid of what people think about you.
I think that's probably like the biggest thing with
Yeah,
every situation. Nobody should be really concerned about what other people think. You ain't hurting nobody. You ain't doing anything to like make anybody like feel like immediately nervous or immediately like there's a word for it, but I can't think.
Don't dick slap someone without asking permission.
Yeah, no, but no, yeah, that's the thing. Especially if you're going in, like, before you do anything, check in and say.
You remember that time you didn't ask permission?
Oh, that I dick slapped you?
Dick slapped me?
Yeah.
Okay, real story, people. Someone was
on a video
playing
game
with a toy. No, she was playing with a toy.
No, this was real life.
I was like, that's that new video game people talk
this
about.
was real life.
We were hanging out in bed, and we were just chilling, and she was just playing with a toy.
I picked up my dick off the nightstand and was
just
playing with it.
Just playing with it, and we were talking about dick slapping. Just laughing, joking about dick slapping, and I turned around, like, literally, and she went, just dick slap me. I'm just like, that is not
Did you
appropriate.
feel like falling on the floor and being like, man down. Man down. I got a man down. Hold on, give me a minute.
I'm sorry that I didn't ask for your consent before I dick slapped you.
No, it's payback. Can I tell my other dick slap story? Is that okay?
No. Yes.
I'm doing it. So, another random story. I was dating this person a long time ago. They shall not be named. And I used to, like, just jokingly threaten us, like, I'm gonna dick slap you one day. Like, every time she made me, like, just like jokingly angry. It's like, not in a sexual way. Like, I'm not gonna like do that. Like, I'm gonna dick slap you one day, because we were comfortable. We just hung around the house like naked and stuff, and like exposed. I was like, you keep talking, I'm gonna dick slap you. That's what's gonna happen. She's like, no, yeah, you're never gonna do that to me. Like, you always playing, never can do that to me. So she was sitting on the floor doing her makeup one day.
Doing her makeup too.
Yep.
Asshole.
But no, she was being a dick.
Time.
She was being a dick to me. She was being a dick to me, just being mean. And I was like, if you don't stop, you're right there on the floor at the level, I'm going to dick slap you. And she goes, you would never. And I walked in the room, right inside of the face while she was doing her makeup. She sat there in silence.
I would too.
I warned her. Don't dick slap without people's approval.
Don't do that.
Don't dick slap.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Back on threesomes. Communication.
Yes.
Let's say you were in a relationship.
Yes.
Or a couple.
Yes.
Not a couple. You are in a couple of relationships. And,
okay. Yeah, that's a thing that needs to be clarified.
And you're trying. You would like, because you said your most of your encounters, intimate encounters.
Why did you say it like that?
Being professional.
Now I'm uncomfortable. That was weird.
I mean, if you're intimate encounters.
No, see, no, uncomfortable.
They weren't really they weren't planned. Let's say like you were interested in you were a singular individual interested in possibly negotiating a threesome with two of your partners, or partner and somebody they might choose, or somebody might choose. How would you bring it up?
How would I bring it up?
Like, how would you suggest it be brought up? Not you, not your way, because I know you, and you don't.
Hey guys, do you want to have a threesome?
You have no fucks to give, so I mean, you got too many fucks to give, and that's the problem.
But no, so pretending you're not like me, who doesn't give any fucks at all about just bringing shit up. If you are in, you have these people, and you are nervous about how one or both of them will take this proposition, I'm gonna like follow the advice that everybody else get. Like everybody who ever gives advice about I want to do this, but I don't know how to bring it up to my partner. Watch porn together, or talk about the porn that you watch, or read erotica together, or whatever. Like find things and say, hey, I thought this was really hot. What do you think about it? And like go to Literotica and find some hot threesome porn, like erotica.
Guys, the straight guys don't read erotica. No, it's against the rules.
What is reading gay now?
Yes.
God.
That's what they told me.
Hey, bro, that shit gay, bro.
How
Hey,
dare
bro,
you
people
read
don't
them
read
words?
no more, man.
How you read them words? That's gay.
No, so like watch porn. Like
They
go on
should-
Tumblr and find some porn gifs and be like, wow, this looks really hot.
What you call it? What porn? What?
We're not going to have this debate right now.
GIF is a
GIF.
type of
No.
peanut butter.
No. The guy who created it calls it GIFs. Both pronunciations are valid. Stop pronunciation shaming me.
Dude, the puns are rolling.
Stop it.
He's spitting hot fire over there.
Stop it. No. But no, so like go on Tumblr, send some porn gifs. Porn gifs.
I didn't say anything.
You said everything with your face.
Go on.
So, and just send them and say, hey, I thought this was really hot. What do you think of it? Right? Like, and that can be, especially like short things, right? Like little GIFs or pictures or whatever, and be like, wow, this is really hot. What do you think about it? Can be a really, not threatening way to start that conversation. Yes, no, maybe lists.
Yep.
We've talked about those on the show. I blew Rico's mind with the yes, no, maybe list.
I've been sending those out to people, like friends. I've had friends who.
How do your friends take you sending them
Well, here's
this
the thing.
yes, no, maybe list
So
full of sexual things?
apparently because of some people that are in my life, I've also become like a sexual advisor to some of my friends.
You're
who
welcome.
Have or who may be going through like sexual problems or issues or
Yes.
whatever, and that's what I do. So I've been, and a lot of it comes with communication.
Yeah.
Like
Just fucking talk to people.
we talk about that a lot, but a lot of it comes down to communication, like knowing how to ask for what you want, trying to figure out what somebody wants.
Yeah.
And
Yes, no, maybe list.
I send people yes, no, maybe lists. Like here, you trying to figure out what your partner wants? Send them this list.
Yeah,
Like,
no. Find a yes, no, maybe
So have-
list that
have 'em check it
includes threesomes and then like the fun of doing that is so go like take your yes, no, maybe list, have a date night, sit down with a bottle of wine and fill these out and have fun with it. Like talk about them. Say, ooh, here's this thing I had never thought about
No,
that
that's a
before.
good
Let's talk
idea.
about these things. They're so much fun. I love them.
If
That's
you have
a
more
really
than one-
good
if you have more than one partner, all three of you sit down
Yeah, and do them together.
do them together,
Like,
and like, oh, I see
had-
you too have checked threesome.
Yes, I had one yes, no, maybe list.
Well,
I sent it to
looky,
you and I
looky.
sent it to one of my other partners too, where we put it in as a Google Doc and like sent each other back and forth, and like we each commented in different colors on it
And
to,
send
like,
questions
talk about-
because
yeah,
there were
like-
some things on the list I was like, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah,
that is.
yeah, that was really fun. I was like explaining all this shit to Keem.
This new word.
Yeah, because I mean that was like a kinky one, and so
What
there was
is
like,
fire play?
oh god, fire play is so cool. Oh my god, I want to do more of it.
Man, that sounds dangerous. It sounds like you burned down the house doing that.
I mean, theoretically,
You can
but
bur-
also you're using rubbing alcohol. So unless you dump your alcohol bowl on the floor and then light that on fire, like you're probably good.
You can fuck around and burn down the house doing regular sex.
You could.
Yep. From friction alone, because I'm so hot.
What was that?
I was Prince for a second.
Oh my god. But yeah, no. So find a way to bring it up as a conversation, and don't make it be a really loaded conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like, I thought I wanted to do this thing and it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do and I would love to do it with you. No, that's creepy. And also now you're uncomfortable, right? Because that's a ton of pressure to put on somebody. But to
Yeah.
like bring a chill way, like, hey, I saw this and I thought it was really hot. Or do a yes, no, maybe list and be like, hey, this is something that I've always been curious about. But like have that in a low pressure kind of way.
All right. You can be like, what you think about that girl with the Walmart booty?
What does that even mean?
you know I'm talking about?
I know what
Walmart
you're talking
booty
about.
is?
As soon as you said Walmart booty, I was like, ugh.
I don't know what that is.
You hold on. You mean like a white Walmart booty or a black Walmart booty?
Black Walmart booty.
The
You know what-
black Walmart booty is different.
Yeah,
because
black
that shit
Walmart booty.
fat.
Like, it's a Walmart booty. It's like, you go in, like, there's like always like a really attractive black girl. This is specifically black community, but a black girl with like Walmart khakis on, with a big booty, and it's like it's the Walmart booty.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just
So
nice.
think about the Walmart booty. That's
Did
yeah.
Esme, do you like girls juicy round asses?
Start using adjectives. Suddenly, I want some peaches.
I'm just asking because it's like one of those things, like, as a man, I don't ever think about, like, I don't ever think to ask that. I just, like, I think the most I've asked is like, oh yeah, do you like girls and stuff like that? But then, like, us guys, we think of things so much differently when it comes to women, and like women think of things differently when it comes to women also.
Yeah, now you've asked a deep question. Like,
Do you like big butts? And can you lie about it?
I can't lie.
I know some other brothers might deny.
I cannot lie. Right. And it's weird because like so let's go into this whole sexuality rant, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I've started
Come to conclusions.
I've come to conclusions. Yes. I've started identifying as pansexual because it's not like I'm more attracted to the people's energy than to what they actually look like. Right?
Yeah.
Like I can't point to one specific body part on anybody and be like, yes, that is the body part that I find most attractive. Right?
Yeah.
Like butts or arms or whatever.
My case, lips.
Yeah, but see, I don't have anybody else that has lips like yours.
No one has lips like mine.
But no, it's I don't know. I'm not a super physically oriented person.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Surprisingly, I'm not surprised. Well, I guess surprisingly to some people, I'm not either. Like, I'm all over the board.
Yeah.
Just like, I could be, literally happened recently. I could just be hanging with someone that's a friend that I didn't think anything about, and next thing you know, oh, something's happening.
Yeah. No, but no.
Because I feel it. It's like energy. Like,
yeah, but no, I appreciate the way people look, but not the way, especially that's like straight guys seem to, right? Like,
Yeah.
where you almost like so many straight guys. I'm not saying you specifically, right? I'm talking about you.
He's like, you.
Specifically.
Here's what you do.
Yeah, no, but like a lot of straight guys, especially the way that straight guys talk about women, it's almost like fetishizing one specific kind of like one body part. And I don't understand. I just don't understand that. I can appreciate like, yes, this woman's butt looks really good.
Yeah.
But also like there's all these other things about her that are awesome, and also like, and it just doesn't. It's not the strongest part of my attraction to any person.
I'm going to be really real about the straight guy talk. It's what it is, talk. Because when straight guys go, oh, ass, whatever, tits, whatever, it's bullshit. Because they'll go out immediately and find someone who is nowhere near what they described, but it works. Mm-hmm. Like, it's talk. Like, you say that shit because
that holds up.
Yeah, you say that shit because it sounds good. Like, well, societally sounds good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the script.
Yeah, I could agree to that. Like, I definitely, a lot of the girls that I've been with, they have had like the things that I want and the things that I like. But when you're out, I just say it like this. Anytime that I'm out and I'm talking to a girl and a friend comes by and they give me that look, or they go like, it's kind of like that look what we were talking about, like the surfer thing. They like, yeah, man. And they don't even say nothing, but they kind of like, just like, yeah, you're doing it, man. And they like throw up a peace sign or like a something. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you congratulating me on talking to somebody? I was like, I talk to a lot of people, but like, I guess this is kind of like the culture of like, like being like, yeah, great job. Which I appreciate that, but I would appreciate it more if it was done like after the fact, not while you're doing it. Because if like I'm talking to someone, say I was like talking to you, and then like, and we were at a bar and we were having drinks and you were laughing, and then a guy came by who was my friend, and then he kind of like patted me on the shoulder, was like, "Yeah, man," and then like kept walking. It's like that's like the most disrespectful thing to that whole conversation right there. Let alone like that person your friend just met. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
That mindset is like it's ridiculous. I got two instances it really made me think about. One, I was coming home. This is when I was dating another person. I was coming home. We come home from a bar, and like we were like dressed up and whatever. And this dude pulls up in Mississippi. By the way, fuck Mississippi. I say that every episode. But this dude pulls up. It's older white guy. He pulls up in his truck, goes beside us. He goes, "Hey, young man, how you doing tonight?" I was like, "I'm doing great." He goes, "That's a mighty fine woman you got there," and drives the fuck off. I'm just like, what?
And he didn't talk to the lady.
No. No, like to him, she was straight up property, and that was a compliment to me. It's like, you did good, son.
Yeah.
And,
did I tell you about the creepy old guy at the gym?
Yeah.
So for a while, with one of my other partners, we were going to the gym together for a while, and we were actually like lifting weights. So I was squatting, and this old guy who's always there at the same time we were there, comes up to my partner, and says, and like starts talking, and I was like, and saying something about form, and I was squatting, so I thought that he was talking about my partner's form. No, turns out he was telling my partner about my form, like something that he thought I was doing dangerously wrong, but at no point did he say anything to me.
Oh,
and I'm like, I am doing a thing. Like, if you're gonna go out of your way to correct me, which thanks, stranger. No. Like at least tell me.
I'm gonna need to tell. Like, it's like men. It's just this weird thing in the South that men own their women. And, like, that's why I don't like it. Like, that whole thing that I would see on movies, like, you see a lot in, like, the 70s, 80s. I feel like it's more in the 80s and 90s, but it'd be like the guy in the movie, "Oh, you looking at my woman?" or something like that. And it's like, you looking at my woman. Like, think about what you do. It's like the stupidest thing of ever.
That's the craziest thing, like, being poly, since, like, coming out as, like, poly openly.
Poly is great.
So, the first thing I go is, like, oh, I have, like, I date more than one person. And the first thing that especially dudes do, they go, "Oh, you got more than one girlfriend, huh? Oh, that's awesome, man. I always want to do something like that. How you make it work? I've been always want to do something like that. My girlfriend wouldn't let me do that, but I mean, y'all can do it, man. That's awesome, man. Just to get all the women, all the hoes."
Oh my god. Yeah.
It becomes congratulations up until this. Oh, they have other partners. Man, you let that happen. You let somebody else have your woman.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, woman.
like, she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Because I don't own a person. Because we outlawed that a few years back.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
They just do not get it. Like people, if that's your type of relationship style where, like, you have the relationship you have with someone and they can have the relationship they have with other people.
Yeah.
Have that. Like, and other people don't think it's weird that people are doing relationships differently than the way you're doing them. Because, man, I hear y'all. And apparently y'all way ain't working too well either. Like,
y'all ain't working too well either.
You losing your mind because you can't fathom how how a guy could be okay with somebody he's with being with somebody else that isn't him.
I think it's
but your girlfriend is at home with Jody.
I think it's like next level type of stuff. It's like people can't fathom. People want to keep it in a box of the fact of you being with someone, and no matter, even if the walls fall down, y'all gonna hang on like Twister. I was talking about Twister with someone earlier today. It's like that scene at the end of Twister. It's very unrealistic because they would have been ripped apart or something, or like probably impaled by some debris. But anyway, like they're hanging on, and they're like the whole damn wheels falling off, everything, the doors falling off, and they just like they're trying to hold on to something that's not gonna work. And their idea is that pipe that they're holding on to. It's like, man, there's a type. It's just, I know what I'm saying, not making much sense, but it's just like an evolution because for me, all my life, I thought that I just wanted to be in a relationship, with a relationship with someone. I just wanted to be great. I wanted everything to be dandy. And then it happened. And then we went off to Colorado, and then we came back. And then me and her, it just didn't work out. And I just had to be honest. I was like, look, I think I want to see other people. I don't want to like break up because I like you, I love you, but I want to fuck other women, and I want to have relationships with other women. Like, I want to be with them, be intimate with them, and I can't do that if we don't have an agreement to it. I'm not just going to cheat on you. And people don't understand that. Yeah, you can actually say that. You can actually speak up and speak out and be like, look, not that I don't think this is going to work out, but on these terms that may not work out, and you don't want to ruin something on purpose.
They don't think you can love. They don't think you can love more than one person at the same time.
Yeah,
they think it's like just because I start having emotions to another person, that your emotions to the person you're with go away.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I can't,
or lessen.
You can't really fault anybody for that though, because the entirety of like Western media for hundreds of years has sold us this idea of like there's one person that's perfect for you, and there's only one person. And once you find that one person, you're supposed to be with that one person forever.
This shit didn't even work in biblical times, you know?
No. Right, no.
It's always the thing with me. Like, especially when I talk to, like, Christian people, and I bring this up, they go, that's a sin. That's a sin. It's like, man, none of these people had...
like 80 wives and shit like that.
They had 3 wives, 14 concubines, and 2 hookers. Like,
but it's so, I mean, so like I can't really fault people for thinking this, but that's why I'm like poly all the way, because like I want to tell everybody about polyamory and how it's possible to love more than one person. It's possible to have intimate relationships with one and more, and more than that, it can be healthier than hanging every single ounce of your happiness on one other person. Like
it
actually, that's a very high pressure, and also like if that one person like doesn't come through, like then you're screwed.
And
right,
like, and this is gonna sound, and we're kind of having a mini poly. So
that's fine. But we do need to wrap up soon because I have a thing tonight.
I know,
but also we have to eat dinner first.
Yeah. I was just gonna say one little short thing about that. And this is going to sound weird to like some people who don't understand that. Having a relationship with someone else can actually make you appreciate the other person that you're with, like, because you like different things about different people, and that's how everybody works.
Yep.
And you can be with one person and like you really enjoy it. You love every moment of the time you're with somebody, and it makes you appreciate the traits in the other person that you're with that you enjoy. It's like, I like this about this other person, and I like this about this person. And I love both of those things.
Yep.
And I'm glad I have both of those things in my life.
Yep. I am a pretty great person, but I threatened to break up with you over puns, and I don't understand any of your anime references.
Exactly. But my other partner, puns and anime, it's what we do.
Yes.
Could I say 2 things?
Go for it.
I just wanted to say that thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate meeting you, Raquan. I did. I know a dude named Rashid. I know
Keem.
Raquan. I think he is from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Just go with Keem.
Keem. I'm sorry, man. Rakeem, right?
Yeah, that's
Rakeem.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keem.
I will also accept Prince Rakeem. That's only a little bit of a joke.
Ooh, we were talking about like partners and everything like that, like and like biblical people having like multiple partners. I was just thinking about like how like maybe Abraham was talking to some of his servants, and then like his servants probably like, "Hey, isn't that the girl the girl you like? No, that is Keisha. She's my side bitch." No, that is Keisha. That is Rwanda. She's my wife. You stupid idiot. How could you mix up the two? I only have 40. But no, it's like... that's why I was laughing so hard when y'all were talking about that.
They got numbers on the back.
That one right there. But yeah, I feel like when
are you number 3 or number 4?
you sleep with me tonight.
That's terrible.
I was just reading a book, and they were talking about one of the Khans or something. One of the Mongolian Khans, or one of the things, had so many wives.
Genghis?
That there were no, it was one of the Chinese emperors. Never mind. But in any case, his harem was so large that there was a whole section of like the eunuch servants whose job it was to find husbands for the concubines who reached the age of 30 without ever having sex with the emperor.
Wow, damn.
Like the ones waiting in line.
Yeah, they were just like there, and they
well,
their turn never came up, and then they aged out, and they had to find husbands for them.
Dang.
Number 115. 115, come to the
That's
front,
ridiculous.
please.
Yeah.
115.
Yeah, like 115, please come to the front. Your turn. Damn it, I'm
Oh,
114.
for that.
Yeah.
Y'all
me.
got a mic in front of me, and I'm like thinking about all like you're talking about the emperor. Every time we're talking about the emperor, I'm thinking about what's that, Mulan?
Yeah.
So then, like, when that guy gets off that horse and he's like, disgrace on your family, disgrace on your name. You would have a woman. Honor your family? Please, Mulan, no. I have to do it, Father. And then he's in there practicing with his sword, and he has like a heart attack. And then she's, that movie I've seen a lot of times. Sorry for going off on that. But
This whole episode, all of our episodes are just one big long tangent. Like we start in one place and end up somewhere.
Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
So threesomes.
So threesomes.
Have
the
'em.
best advice that we have is, I mean, have them if you want to.
Have them if I want to.
But
have them if you can.
Have them if you can.
because
but
obviously,
communicate about it.
the
Also, I don't know. Maybe like feel out people that you've already had sex with. That seems to be my strategy.
Definitely feel them out.
I know feel them out is different from feel them up.
I said feel them out, audience.
Anyway, so communication, as with so many of our episodes,
And
the
on the-
sex segment ends with communication.
And on the next show, we'll discuss foursomes. We're just gonna go up in number from
All
then
right,
5.
If we pass 4, then I'm out. I mean, not to
We can
tell
fix
you too much,
that.
not to tell you too much about my sex life.
I mean, we can fix that. We can. See, it's what we do. We have an episode, and then we have to keep bringing the number up. So, if you'd like to come on our show and add our number, no.
Anyway,
Just-
so yeah, that's the end of what
That's
I
the-
have to say about threesomes.
that's
I
the end
guess.
of. And with that, that's the end of this threesome on the show.
Yes.
now we have a threesome.
The Threesome
Yeah.
Podcast.
We could do that. Let's
And-
do that podcast.
And we will bring this show to a conclusion. As always, if you are a musician who would like to have your music featured on this show, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Yes.
As you can see, we will have you on the show, and we
Yes.
will do live interviews
Yes.
with you. if you like.
Well, this is more extensive than we've ever done.
This is
Usually
this is
I record
awesome.
interviews via Skype. This is way fancier.
Yeah, this
and
is awesome.
A lot more fun. And I didn't have to argue with Skype.
So, or if you're a listener who knows a musician or who
Yes.
wants to come on the show or let us use their music and promote their music, we will promote the hell out of your music.
Yes.
Please let us know. If you're somebody who's listened to the show who wants to come in and talk with us, please let us know because we'll bring you on and talk about anything, honestly.
Basically.
Especially if you're pissed about it.
Yes. If you have a rant, we want to hear it.
Links will be in the description as always.
Yep.
What am I forgetting?
I know.
March 10th.
March 10th.
Yeah.
Come out to Young Avenue Deli.
Young Avenue Deli, March 10th at 10:30. Come out and get the album preview party.
It's going to be awesome. I get to
be
be
cool.
there. So many of these shows, like all the people that I follow from the podcast, I'm like, oh, your show is on a Thursday.
Also, I would be.
That doesn't work.
I should be polite to point out that that's in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, Young Avenue Deli.
Because
Memphis,
we have
Tennessee.
listeners. We have listeners from all over the country.
If you are in a city
you're
that
local.
has a Young Avenue Deli, go support them.
Yeah.
There will only be Jareef Green will only be at the one in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
But
Nah, sorry guys.
So if you're in and listen to this, come on down.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be there. At least one of us.
I will be there.
I'll try.
Cool.
And special thanks to Jareef for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, dude, you did.
This is a podcast. The point is to talk too much.
You did. You did great, and love the music. Love
Thanks.
that you obliged my suggestion for a cover.
Yeah.
For sure. It was fun.
It's
really
fun,
fun,
funny. Like, I think our listeners will enjoy our episode 50.
Yay!
Yep.
I guess also we it's a milestone. I didn't think it would last this long. It honestly didn't last this long. It
No,
went
it
away and
didn't.
came back.
This is episode 36.
We're
of
the
Rebooted.
herpes of podcasts. We go away, but we always come back.
I'm dead.
All right.
Keem killed me. I'm dead now.
I guess that's it, everyone. As always, this has been Keem and Esme, and we are out.
But there are these things that matter, and they really fucking matter. There's like 4 things that matter, and they really fucking matter. I mean, objectively, I mean, you should care, especially you, if you thought about it for 5 fucking minutes.